Good morning. It is 8:39 on Friday, July 4th, 2025. This is Baseball and Coffee with Adam Ottavino, episode 3, -3 actually, as we are on the countdown to beginning this shindig, hopefully July 8th. So we're going to call this episode -3. I am drinking the same coffee as yesterday, the Pergamino, straight out of Colombia. I got my mug right here. It's a beautiful day. This is my first cup of the day. Staring out at the sun, wondering if I'm going to get baked to a crisp today during this July 4th barbecue. But very excited. I've never had a July 4th before. I've always been playing on this day. It stinks a little bit to not play because that's what you're used to. But at the same time, man, it's beautiful. I get to watch baseball from my couch, or from my office, or I'm outside in the backyard and not have to worry about getting anybody out or anything like that. I can just enjoy the game, enjoy my family, enjoy my friends, and try to lock in on this summer. So we are going to get over to the main screen today. We have 3 topics we want to get into. The 3 topics today are George Springer and Addison Barger, who completely dominated that Blue Jay Yankees series and pretty much single-handedly won the game yesterday. Well, the 2 of them, not single-handedly, there was 2 of them, but those 2 guys were really the main reason why they were able to separate themselves from the Yankees, and now they're in first place. Second is we're going to take a quick look at Eury Perez. I think it was only his 3rd start, maybe 2nd start coming back from surgery. He's he's a phenom. We're going to explore him a little bit. And then my guy in the C block, James Wood, 5 for 5 last night. That's a big night for him, so we're going to watch all those ABs. We'll check out some high leverage ABs, and we'll see where we go from there. And I think what we need to do is we need to get started really quick, and we need to hit the standings. This is me trying to sign up for something so I don't have ads on this show. Okay. So as you can see, the Blue Jays are now in first place, 1 game ahead of both the Yankees and the Rays. Red Sox 6.5 back. Detroit still 12.5 up. Houston 7 up over Seattle, 8.5 over Anaheim. Philly 1.5 over the Mets. Mets did win their last 2, so they're starting to turn it around again. Hopefully get their mojo back. Cubs 4 over the Brewers, looking to create separation. They've won 3 in a row. They had a nice extra inning win last night against the Guardians. Dodgers way up ahead, 9-game lead over the Padres and Giants. Can either of those 2 teams catch them? I have my doubts. Okay. So, first thing we're going to do here, we're going to pull up Mr. George Springer. I'm going to tell you something, folks. Last year when we played the Blue Jays in Toronto, I felt watching him in right field like he might be cooked. He looked old. He looked disinterested. He didn't look like George Springer, to be honest with you. And when you think about George Springer, at least when I think about George Springer, I think about the speed-power combo. It's kind of Mike Troutish. It's rare when you see it, and that's why this guy was such a huge prospect. 30-30, 40-40 type of guy. At his best, he's like an Acuna. He can kind of do it all. He can run. He can hit. He makes spectacular plays in the outfield. He's an advocate for those who stutter. I really like George Springer. He did ruin my 2019 playoffs a little bit by clipping me for a home run game 2 of the ALCS on a first pitch slider that I still think about sometimes in my dreams, but he's just doing his job. I was trying to do mine. He beat me that day. And also when I think about George Springer, I think a little bit about the fact that he is a Yukon Husky. He went there with one of my best friends, Scott Oberg, who I played with the Rockies. They had an absolute bomb squad at the time Springer was with UConn. There was Matt Barnes, first rounder, George Springer, first rounder, Mike Olt, might have been a first or second rounder. There's Nick Ahmed, who's had a long career as a shortstop, one of the best defenders in my time in pro ball that I've ever watched. And Scott Oberg, who was the Rockies closer before his career got abruptly ended with blood clots. So really, that's 5 right there, and there's even more than that. I think there's a kid, Andrioli, who made it to AAA. So you don't think about that too often about the Northeast, but the Yukon Huskies had some dogs, for a better pun there, back in the day. So you see Springer this year, he's having just a ridiculous season. He's in the 96th percentile expected weighted on base, even 84th for expected batting average. His slugging is there. Let's see how he's declined. Oh, he's still above average in sprint speed. Now, that's not where it used to be. Let's go through this a little bit. So at one point, he was a 92nd percentile in sprint speed, and it's been a little bit of a decline there. So you can see he's always been an elite performer. This is where it got really good for him, 2017. Obviously, Houston wins the World Series, 2018. 2019, he was insane. This is the year he clipped me. 2020, still great. Ends up getting paid by the Blue Jays. And then he's still great. Still great. It wasn't until probably 23, 24 we're going to see a little bit of a drop-off. All right, yep, 23 kind of pulls back to around league average hitting. And last year, same about league average hitting. But this year, he's back on top. Plenty of season to go, obviously, but as we approach the All-Star game, he might find himself in it. Hitting 281, 15 homers, 10 bags, 891 OPS. And let's get into it a little bit from the game last night, because these two guys, Addison Barger and George Springer, they completely took over this game last night. So I think it would be cool if we just watch some of these George Springer ABs from front to back and see just how locked in he really was. Auto taken there. So cutter, sinker, non-competitive slider.
He's way down there now. He's going to try to start that a little bit more on the plate, but that's what the righties will be looking for.
Another sinker, but you can see already George is looking really, really, really ready to hit. 3-1 slider, so they know he's already been torturing them a little bit in the series, so they already knew ahead of time to be a little careful, but it did not help them the rest of this game, because here comes the first homer of the night. This is a poorly located sinker. Middle, first pitch. Has some good run on it, so it gets in on Springer just a tick. Yeah, he's going to go right away from that. He goes to the sweeper right away. Pulls it. This ball starts too far off. It's an easy take. He's going to come back with the gyro slider or cutter. Another easy take. And now he's going to come back with the sinker, and George is ready for it. Ooh. Oppo Taco. 105 at 27. And you know, this is a very similar pitch to the 0-0 sinker. The two sliders were non-competitive, so that allows George to kind of eliminate them and say, you know what, if you can throw that for a strike, I'll give it to you, but I'm going to key in on that fastball because I felt like if I was a little more on time with that 0-0 pitch, I could really drive it. And so this is what on time looks like. Man, opposite field? That's special juice. Not everybody can do that. All right, let's see the side swing. Little bit of a lean back. But man, what an explosive dude. Man, it's crazy how his energy almost pushes him backward after contact. That's how you stay through it and drive it deep to right. All right, next at bat versus Clayton Beater. Yeah, try to ambush. So that's another key point. Okay, so you go back to this pitch right here, the 0-0. This is an automatic swing. This is a predetermined swing by George. He was swinging no matter where this pitch was. Fortunately for him, he missed it. Now, I hear a lot of hitters talk about this. This was a big change in thought process as I got older and I started listening to the guys who had been around longer and longer and the game started to evolve. Guys really want to get their A swings off on that first pitch, and so they'd almost rather miss it if they're not going to crush it. That gets them more pitches to potentially do damage on. If you sell out for contact and you try to put the ball in play regardless of where it is, maybe you put the ball in play weakly, which is obviously not what a hitter wants. So they really want to crush it or they want to flat out miss it on their first swing of the at-bat most of the time. All right, so 0-1, doubles up. Springer's still thinking about staying through it. Another slider. So at this point, They have no interest in throwing him any fastballs. Another slider. It's kind of a weird slider by Beater. It's very depthy. Sort of like a death ball, as they would call it. So it kind of presents itself like a power curveball. See the up, down. And I don't know, George did not look comfortable on that at bat, but he's going to get hits on these next two. So now he's got J-Lo, Loizaga facing him. This guy's one of the nastiest pitchers that's probably ever pitched, honestly. I know he doesn't pitch often because he's been hurt a lot. But, I mean, dude, 20-inch on break right there with 3.9 at 96. Dotted, outside corner. Hold on, can we just appreciate real quick how much this pitch is dotted? Hard to pull the trigger on that ball. So now he's going to grind. Yep, good take. They're going to try it again. Ooh, the arm side flyer. Now, if this pitch is a little lower, he probably gets the swing and miss. But it ends up sailing pretty high, so it's actually a decently easy take. Curveball fights it off. Now they're going to go back to the sinker again. Man. Line drive, stays right through it up the middle. Hits that ball 103 at 12. Again, watch his weight and his energy here from George. We're going to put this into quarter speed. Watch how he doesn't, the front shoulder, the front hip, none of that is pulling in this direction. Hold on. None of that is going this way. His energy is all going towards the plate. Yeah. The hips right there. When the hips come through, right there. And his energy is still over the plate. So his first move is to run towards first. He is staying close. He is staying locked in. He is not flying the shoulder. He's not getting himself out. And he's such a good athlete. I say this about the best athletes in the game, and this is a big separator between big leaguers and a lot of minor leaguers is sometimes the big leaguers' tools, like their power, is just so crazy. All they have to do is touch the ball. Like Aaron Judge, all he has to do is touch the ball. Paul Goldschmidt, all he has to do is touch the ball. There's certain guys, that's all they have to do. Springer's up there. Springer's an absolute freak athlete, dynamic. So he doesn't have to try to pull and hit the ball out of Rogers Center. He doesn't have to try to hit the ball to Alberta. He just has to make contact, good squared up contact, use the whole field, and then really he can go out of any ballpark in any part of the field. All right, so here is the home run that crippled the Yankees last night. It's going to be off of Weaver. The Yankees had stormed back in this game. They got all the way tied up, and now it's 6-5. Toronto looking to build the lead here. First pitch cutter. See, he's ready to swing. Heater kind of overwhelms him here. This is a 20 ball, 20 vert break. Show you what I'm looking at here. It's right here. 20 vert. That's elite. That's elite hop. That means when that ball is approaching, it's going to stay flatter. It's not going to droop down towards the barrel. It's going to stay up. It's going to backspin. And as a hitter, you got to really try to keep your barrel above that. As soon as you dip a little bit with that barrel, you get a little bit of this barrel drop. You're going to scoop under the ball. You're going to pop it up at best. All right, so he's down 0-2 in this at-bat. See what Weave goes to here. Heater away, kind of non-competitive. Change-up down with no tunnel, so an easy take. This is a good change-up. Like, it comes out, as you can see, bottom of the zone before dropping down. But at no point did he throw anything down there. Everything in this at-bat has been up. He threw like a cutter away, like a cutter over here. He threw a four-seam to kind of beat him in here. He threw a waist pitch over here, and now the changeup down here. So there's nothing on the bottom to sell him to swing. So that allows George to stay on the heater, which he does. And even though this is a 20 ball, watch what he does with it. Oh my God. Did not miss it. Was not off balance. Was absolutely on time. And at this point, he's taken over the game. Second homer of the game. Blue Jays up 3. The sweep is in their grasp. First place is in their grasp. 110 off the bat. So he's hit 3 balls over 100 in this game. 2 of them for homers. Both of his homers are to the big part of the park. This is as locked in as I've seen him since probably he was a Houston Astro, to be honest with you. And you know what, though? We need to watch this from the side. Calm as day. It's a controlled explosiveness. He absolutely knew as soon as that ball touched wood. And as you can also see, my guy Austin Wells also knew. He did not like it. He's disgusted. All right, so the second part of this attack yesterday that crushed the Yankees and got them was Addison Barger. Now, I've been watching this guy the whole series. This dude swings hard. Got some big biceps. I don't really know a lot about his background. Maybe I can dig on that in a second. Let's pull up his Savant page real quick because he's also over an 800 OPS. And yeah, I mean, wow. And he's got 100th percentile arm strength. Is that a joke? 100th percentile? Averaging 97.3 from the field? This kid's got some tools. 25 years old. 6th round pick, 2018. 6 foot 210. He swings it like he's 6'5", 240 though. All right, so man, it's off to a nice start. But let's dig in. Let's dig in a little bit to his at bats because this guy was all over the Yankees in these first 3 at bats. Schmidt's gonna attack the lefties with cutters in. A lot of that going on too. A lot of yes. I want to swing. No. And I think that's a good place to be as a hitter because it keeps you selectively aggressive. Like you're ready to hit every pitch, but you're also able to lay off rather than being no. Oh my God, there's my pitch. I got to swing. That's when you're going to be late. But if you're like yes, no, I think that's a better mentality for a lot of hitters. So he goes cutter, and then he's going to double up on the cutter. I mean, this ball's smacked. Almost leaves the yard. 105 at 23. This is a home run in a lot of places. This is a backdoor cutter after a... So this is the problem with doubling up on the cutter a little bit. He throws cutter in first pitch. Way in. And then this pitch has the same movement, but it starts away and then comes into the zone. And this guy's been ready to swing. Even though he bailed here, like you can see this hip is completely gone. His upper body energy, no, I mean, he's pulling off, but I mean, somehow he stretches this arm out and gets the barrel to this ball. And like I said, this kid swings hard. Let's take a quick peek at his bat speed. Yes, 95th percentile bat speed. That's what it looks like. Honestly. So that passes the eye test. So there's a double. There's his first AB, and that gives the Blue Jays an early lead. Second at bat, another double. Let's see how Clark tries to go about him this time. He goes slider, first pitch. Curveball. Cutter up, 2-0. Clark was a little out of it. Obviously, he ended up leaving this game with an injury. Man, this guy wants to swing. This guy knew he was feeling it, so he even fires at that 2-0 cutter off the plate. Now he comes curveball. Another ball really lanced. I mean, he didn't hit this ball squared up, but he still hit it nearly 100 miles an hour on the line. Not afraid to go the other way. Kind of lets this ball get super deep before hitting it. And, you know, this is similar to what we saw him do against Devin Williams the other day. He let the ball get deep. He knows he's strong enough to kind of block it off and still drive it the other way. So he gets his foot down. He's waiting on it. And then drops the head really hard. Now, we talk a lot about a lead leg block with pitchers. Check out this lead leg block. Watch how the knee... hold on. Watch how the knee is going to snap into place here. All right? Snap. 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 So he's bringing a lot of energy up the chain, and that's how you're able to hit oppo line drives 100 miles an hour when you're a little off balance. And now we get to his third at-bat. So he's already got 2 at-bats, 2 doubles, And currently at this point in the game, it was 5-3. Beater's in there. He's going to just flip his slider in all day. This is probably a really good pitch for him versus lefties because death balls get a lot of miss and whiff versus opposite-handed hitters. So let's see this AB. Called strike on the backdoor slider. And he's going to double up, and Barger's like, oh, I understand it now. Kaboom. Oh. Harkey doesn't move an inch. 108-21, line drive, home run. So that's all 3 balls in this game have been absolutely clobbered by Barger. So that's 6 extra base hits. No, 5 extra base hits and a single between him and Springer last night. 3 homers. They really did it all, and they were a huge reason. Let's watch this again, because this ball's just nuked. They were a huge reason why the Blue Jays were able to complete this sweep and kind of put their foot down. And now they're in the driver's seat. American League East is only a 1. I mean, can we just talk about my guy Mike Harkey out here? He's obviously disgusted, but watch this. Watch my guy not move as this ball approaches him. And just statures it as it hits off the back wall. That's swag, folks. That's. I'm frustrated. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to give you any satisfaction of any of it. Leiter does punch out Barger in the last at-bat. We don't need to watch that, but I just wanted to show how these two guys really just took over yesterday. Both of them using the whole field. Both of them have exceptional bat speed. Natural rotational pop in their swings. But I think, the Yankees couldn't get them out because these guys aren't trying to do too much. They're willing to drive the ball up the middle, use the big part of the field, and they were rewarded for doing that. Looked like the ball was flying pretty good, but these balls were all over 100 miles an hour and hit really, really hard. And we didn't talk about Bichette. We didn't talk about Vladdy. We didn't talk about Varsho. We didn't talk about Santander. Those are all really good players. And this is kind of what we've always been waiting for with the Blue Jays the last few years. But if Barger's going to be hitting over an 800 OPS and Springer's back to being George Springer, I do think that the rest of the American League East has to be on notice 100%. So without further ado, we are going to text my wife real quick and see if somebody is here, because I have a kid coming today, pitcher that I'm going to work with a little bit. Looks like we have a little more time. So let's hop into Eury Perez as Miami. Who did they play last night? Who did they play? Miami played Minnesota. All right, so Miami, Minnesota. Let's watch the young phenom, Mr. Eury Perez, pitch. Let's look him up real quick. Now, little interesting anecdote about this. Obviously, I was in the NL East when I was with the Mets for several years. When this guy came up, all of the guys who had been in AAA and had seen this guy in AA, Single A, basically the minor leagues, they all said that he had better stuff than Sandy Alcantara. And they said it was similar because he's so tall. He's 6'8", 220. He's only 22 years old. So he was 20 when he came up, which is extremely rare. But when you see this guy pitch, I think you'll get a good idea of why. As you can see on the movement profile, the fastball is above average in terms of vert break. He's got a nice little gyro slider in the middle, curveball down below. So he's got all 3 speed levels. He's got a sinker. He's got a changeup. So for being 22 years old, he's already done a nice job rounding out his arsenal. This was start number 5. They're starting to get his pitch count up there a little bit. Let's see something real quick. Averaging 98.1 on the 4-seam, which is higher than he did in 23. The last time he was healthy, 97.5. So this guy basically comes right at you at 98. He's 6'8". He's a huge body. And I think we should just watch some of these result pitches and see what we can see. So he doors Buxton there. I mean, you can just see the size of this human on the mound. It's not any crazy extension, which is interesting. You would think this guy would have 7.5 extension, but this is a 19 ball at 98 and just overwhelms a really good hitter. Right down the middle. Larnick is under it. 2 quick outs. Then he's got a 7-pitch walk. And then he's going to punch out this guy on a 99 fastball. This is Brooks Lee with a 20 ball. So he gets all 3 outs in the first with 4 seamers. Has 1 walk, which obviously is always something that we have to keep an eye on with young guys. There's the gyro slider. 85, -4, right around 0 VB. I mean, every time you face this guy, you got to be on fastball timing. Otherwise, you're going to get blown up. So as much as he can land his off-speed pitches, it's going to make a big difference. Wallner. Guy struggles up in the zone. Yeah, he's nowhere near this ball. 98 with hair on it, folks. Man, let's look at the swagger here on Eury. Oh. He's like, that was easy. Must feel good. That must feel good. All right, Royce Lewis, one of my favorite players in the league. Let's see how he gets out. Gyro slider. Ooh, pops it up. What was this swag? Can we see Eury Perez here? He does something funny after this ball's hit. This guy's out here having fun. Game's fun, right? The game's fun. All right, Harrison Bader, my guy. He's going to get doorsed. Yep, doors. Next guy. Vasky, my other guy from Boston. Oh, he's going to get doorsed. Doors. If you're not ready to hit the heater, you're going to be in big trouble off this dude. All right, second time through. Buxton. Fastball. Looks like he's ready for it this time. Blown up. Firewood, 57 off the bat. And that's the end of the third. All right, here's the first hit. Larnick gets him on a slider, on a 2-1 slider. Yeah, I mean, lucky that wasn't a homer. 105 at 21. All right, so man on second. How are we going to dig out of this? Ooh, first punchy with a curveball. Ooh. Look at this thing. Not much hump, little bit of a hump, not much. Starts middle, breaks on under. Vicious pitch. He set him up with fastball. Yep. All right, let's watch real quick. 4-seam, kind of a similar height that the curveball comes out of later. 4-seam, similar heights. So that's why he gets the swing. Those are at similar heights to this curveball. Comes out kind of middle down, and bam. That's just unfair. You can't catch up to that heater, and then you got to face... I mean, that's a snappy. That's a snapdragon. All right, so Castro. Now we got a Brooks Lee. He's going to bully him with a 4-seam. Gets way under it. Can of corn. Ty France. Slider. Pops up. We have a couple righties popping up the slider, so the slider might be, I mean, yeah, it's pretty hoppy. 11.2 VB is very high. This is essentially a cutter type of VB, and that's why these guys are so under this pitch. All right, so now he's through 4. No runs. Wallner. This is another guy. Really gets exposed on 4-seamers. Yep. Can't get to it. He's pissed. Pop up. Go think about it. Royce Lewis slider again. This one's got 14 VB. This is a weird pitch. Can I see this pitch again? I mean, that ball stays up, but that's going to work for you. And if I pitch in Miami, truthfully, I'd want to be a fly ball pitcher too. The ball just goes nowhere there. It's a really good place to be. So who was that? That was Royce Lewis. All right, now my guy Bader again. 99.5. Oh my God, just blown up. Bader Tots, you got blown up right there, fam. Hold on, let's watch it from. I'm sorry. Oh wait. I'm sorry, Harrison. I gotta watch. I gotta see this off. Snap. Oh. Oh man, that's firewood right there. All right, Vasquez reaches on a throwing error. watch the error. I don't like watching errors. And then Buxton, we're going to get a ground out. So now guys are like, we don't want to get behind the count. We got to swing. And then he just tops this one over for an easy out. And then we're going to get Larnick, who is the one who got the only hit. Bottom of the zone paint. That's where you're going to get your looking strikeouts with the 4-seam. And for his last out of the day, he's going to get through 6 innings of shutout baseball. That ball's actually hit pretty well. But not in Miami. Not even close. Well, I mean, 104 barely gets you onto the warning track. One step onto the warning track. Can of corn. And Eury Perez is through 6 shutout innings. That is his best outing of the year so far. And I want to get to the rest of it, but we're going to have to add on to this later. I have a kid over at my house that I have to train for a little bit. Really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me today. Maybe I'll come back live and we'll add on to this episode later. I really want to talk about James Wood. But it's been fun so far. Hope you enjoy your July 4th. It's a beautiful day. Get out there with the family. Beach, pool, golf, whatever it is that you guys like to do. Barbecue. And that's what I'm going to do. So until tomorrow, I thank you for joining me. And that's it for today's episode -3 of Baseball with Coffee with Adam Ottavino. And thanks again.